movie that really cuts to the heart of an American crisis, Boyz N The Hood. It is an important movie. This movie was written and directed by a young black man who is only 23 years old. He's with us today. Welcome, John Singleton.
American film director, writer, and producer John Daniel Singleton was born on January 6, 1968, in Los Angeles, California. He watched a lot of movies and television growing up. John's biggest writing influence would turn out to be Woody Allen, after seeing his films Bananas and Annie Hall. When John realized that Woody wrote every word he was hearing, he knew that this was the level he needed to rise to. After high school, John enrolled at the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts and joined the school's Filmic Writing program. He did an interview in 2016 with the Television Academy Foundation about his writing process. He confessed that he prefers to write longhand first before typing it out on a computer. "I feel the mind moves quicker than your hands on a keyboard can. So if you can write it out, you can change your idea, you have it in your notebook, it's organic, it's there. You can touch it, you can feel it. When you get on a computer and you compose your ideas, you may second think yourself and then delete it. And it may be something that you really had an inspired thought that's there, then it's not there anymore." In his final year, John decided to write a screenplay for a movie he planned to call Boyz N The Hood. The script would actually serve two purposes. He was also required to write a script for one of his classes to graduate. As he had already learned to do in class, John wrote about what he knew. John knew South Central Los Angeles. So the script quickly unfolded as he drew experiences from his own life and from the lives of the people around him. Years later, that script would launch his career and make him famous. John would graduate from USC in 1990 and immediately apply, and by the skin of his teeth, be accepted into graduate school. Little did he know, his school days were over. He would make his mark in the professional movie-making world in a major way the very next year. John's film debut, 1991's Boyz N The Hood, an inner-city dramatization of his upbringings in South Central LA, was both a critical and commercial success. Starting out, he pitched the script around town and got nothing but a bunch of rejections. Then, Russell Simmons got his hands on it, read it, loved it, and started talking it up to Columbia. John even revealed years later that Russell was supposed to produce the film, but that was a no-go after he cursed out the head of the studio. For his first project, John received Academy Award nominations for Best Original Screenplay and Best Director. At age 24, he became the youngest person ever and the first African American to be nominated for the latter. The film was also featured at that year's Cannes Film Festival. In the years since, Boyz N The Hood has attained classic status, and in 2002, the United States Library of Congress selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry. John's directing ability led to the opportunity to direct Michael Jackson's Remember the Time music video, featuring Eddie Murphy, Iman, and Magic Johnson. He took on triple duties writing, directing, and producing his next two films, 1993's Poetic Justice and 1995's Higher Learning. John even got a girlfriend out of the experience filming the latter. He and model Tyra Banks, who played Deja, began a short-lived romance. In October 1996, John married Ghanaian actress, film director, author, and songwriter Akosua Gayamama Busia. She's best known for her role as Nettie Harris in the 1985 film The Color Purple. Her father was also a former prime minister of their country. They would have a daughter the following year, just months before calling it quits. John had actually entered the marriage already a father, having had 2 children with a long-term girlfriend. Even though this would be his only marriage, he would go on to have several more children, ultimately totaling 7, with several different women over the years. In 1997, John's historical drama film Rosewood was released. Based on historical events of the 1923 Rosewood Massacre in Florida, the film received generally favorable reviews, but was not a commercial success. John then started off the 2000s with Shaft, followed by Baby Boy, Too Fast, Too Furious, and Four Brothers. Around this time, he also received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Then, in the summer of 2007, John was involved in an automobile accident in which he struck a jaywalking pedestrian. He did stay on the scene until police arrived, judged to not be under the influence of alcohol or any other substances, and was released after being questioned. Sadly, the pedestrian died later in the hospital. Due to the incident now involving a death, the case was turned over to the district attorney, but no charges were ever filed. What would end up being John's last movie, the action thriller Abduction, was released in 2011. No doubt what John had to say a few years later about the industry better explains why he moved away from filmmaking. In 2014, while addressing students at LMU's School of Film and Television in Los Angeles, he didn't hold back, criticizing popular studios for refusing to let African Americans direct Black-themed films. They want Black people to be what they want them to be, and nobody is man enough to go and say that. They want Black people to be who they want them to be, as opposed to what they are. The Black films now, so-called Black films now, they're great. They're great films, but they're just product. They're not moving the bar forward creatively. When you try to make it homogenized, when you try to make it appeal to everybody, then you don't have anything that's special. More award nominations would come John's way over the next several years. He would score an Emmy nomination in 2016 for The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, and another in 2017 for his documentary, L.A. Burning: The Riots 25 Years Later. After directing episodes of the critically acclaimed TV shows Empire and American Crime Story, John served as an executive producer of the crime drama series Rebel for BET and co-created Snowfall for FX. On April 17, 2019, John suffered a stroke and was placed under intensive care at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He reportedly began to experience weakness in his legs after returning to the U.S. from a trip to Costa Rica. 12 days later, and after falling into a coma that he never came out of, John was removed from life support. He was 51 years old. The official cause of death was acute ischemic stroke, intracerebral hemorrhage, and hypertension. The somber news was met with sadness across social media. An outpouring of grief especially came from Black social media users, with most, if not all of them, attesting to what a cultural impact the Academy Award-nominated filmmaker had on their lives, including many celebrities, namely rapper, actor, and filmmaker Ice Cube, who played Doughboy in Boyz N The Hood. I was discovered by a master filmmaker by the name of John Singleton. He not only made me a movie star, but made me a filmmaker. There are no words to express how sad I am to lose my brother, friend, and mentor. He loved to bring the Black experience to the world. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time.